Why are so many people from Oregon relocating directly to the state of Idaho? Well, not only is it people from Oregon, it's also people from California, Arizona, and so many bordering states, for example, Washington, who are relocating to Idaho. And we're going to be talking about exactly why that is. So stay tuned. Let's dive into the content. So guys, one of the most common trends we're seeing right now is a lot of people relocating to the state of Idaho, more specifically the Boise and surrounding area. Now, why is that? Why is Idaho attracting so many different areas and so many different people from those states within Idaho, or what is pushing them away from those states? Well, today we're going to be specifically talking about Oregon. For those of you that don't know this, the top 3 states that people are currently leaving to head to Idaho is actually California, Oregon, and Washington. So those are our big 3 states a lot of people are leaving. Now, I know people are leaving California due to the fact that, well, there's just a lot of obnoxious laws and rules and regulations that are coming out nowadays. And there's even laws trying to keep people to stay in California because they're realizing how many people are so excited to just get out of there. Now, we also have people that are leaving Washington because Washington is becoming so expensive. And some of the rules and regulations over there are also starting to exhibit things that they don't want to be a part of, which is why people are moving to Idaho. Now, finally, Oregon. Oregon is pretty much coming the Wild West, and a lot of people are not too fond of what's going on out there in Oregon either, which also is bringing more people to Idaho. So what does that tell you? Well, Idaho is just the place to be, and it's also the place that I chose to be. And if you guys don't know this, I am a licensed real estate agent here in the state of Idaho. And as much as I love making these videos for you guys, I would also absolutely love to help you with your home buying needs. So now let's talk about why so many others relocating this way have called it home. Let's talk about the economy to kick it off. Well, first off, the Boise economy, the Idaho economy in general, is just absolutely taking off. The amount of people relocating here due to the growth because of new job opportunities, because of affordability, or because they simply just want to start a new business somewhere where they feel like it makes the most sense, they're picking Idaho, and this for good reasons. The economy is one of the biggest factors to take in as far as where it's going or where areas are headed, or if different big companies are also relocating the areas. That's also something to keep an eye on, because that just means that this specific area is going to be trending in the right direction in the near future. Now, Idaho is one of those areas. We have Facebook, aka now Meta. Facebook is transferring over their business. Micron, which is a huge local company here, is also even stretching their roots even further in Idaho. There's just a lot of people coming down. Now, we also had Topgolf come out here. We had In-N-Out open up their first restaurant out here. There's just a lot of big franchise names and even small mom and pop shops that are opening up in Idaho. And just for the same reason that everyone else is, it's because the growth is inevitable here in Idaho, and that is going to be a huge factor. Next, you have quality of life. Now, when we're talking about quality of life in comparison between Oregon and Idaho, you have Idaho, which is at number 22, which is fairly good, and then you have Oregon, which is at number 35, which is fairly on the back end, which means it's one of the worst places to live right now. So Idaho is kind of hitting that middle of the road, and it's only getting better because I think what it's missing is it doesn't have that big city feel just yet. Boise is amazing. It has a small town but small city kind of charm still, but it's definitely growing at a pace to where it probably will be similar to almost Denver or probably Atlanta. Probably never get to the point of California where it's Los Angeles big, but it is moving in the direction that there's only so much more growth until it does have a big city vibe. Now, is that necessarily what attributes to its rankings? No, not at all. It's actually the outdoor recreation that makes Idaho such an amazing state to live in. Now, Oregon does have some outdoor recreation to include. It does have Portland. It does have that big city feel. However, their big city is not necessarily a place where a lot of people want to live anymore, simply due to the fact that it's become overwhelming as far as how much homeless people are in the area, how much needles are on the ground. There's just a lot of crazy stuff going on over there. Whereas Boise is definitely one of the cleanest cities you will ever see. There's not a lot of trash on the sideways. People actually tend to pick up trash, believe it or not. There's just a lot more pride in the sense of taking care of Boise and the areas around it, which is why it just makes so much of a difference when you're comparing Portland, Oregon to Boise, Idaho. Now, coming back to the natural beauty that Idaho has to offer, it is very similar to Oregon. However, it is extremely diversified. I'm talking about you have the mountains, and I'm not talking Denver mountains, so don't go crazy on me. but it does have similar mountains. It does have big hills that you can go enjoy. Now, as far as Idaho's diverse landscapes go, you have these mountains that are absolutely gorgeous. You have hills, you have rivers, you have lakes. You just have a whole portfolio of different things that you can do through its landscaping, which allows for a lot of outdoor recreational opportunities. Now, some of the most common things are going to be hiking and biking and taking the boat out and going for jet ski rides. Those are going to be those things that people in Idaho are doing on a day-to-day basis, to include snowboarding and skiing and doing all those activities during the winter. Now, me personally, I'm not a very outdoorsy guy, I'll be very honest with you. I prefer to be home in my bed, all comfortable and have AC running and things. But a lot of people in Idaho aren't the same as me. They like to go out, they like to go camp, they like to go fish. They like to go hide in the middle of the forest and sleep there until they have to come back to reality and clock in at 9 o'clock on a Monday, right? So that's typically how people spend their time. But that is what Idaho is all about. It's all about getting out. It's all about having a good time and just enjoying what we get offered. Now, me personally, I'd probably rather hit the golf course like the one behind me and do that on a weekend than go camping, but to each their own. You all have different ways that you can go enjoy what Idaho has to offer. The one big factor that Idaho really takes over, which I personally enjoy the most, is going to be the cost of living, because it is one of the lowest costs of living in the entire West Hemisphere as far as the United States goes. And compared to Oregon, it just absolutely knocks it out of the park. Oregon is a lot more expensive compared to Idaho, which is awesome for people in Idaho, but not so awesome for people in Oregon. Now, not only is it more affordable to live in Idaho, you can also actually afford housing in Idaho as well. So for those of you that aren't familiar with how much housing costs in the state of Idaho, it really depends on areas, right? It ultimately comes down to location, where if you're looking in Boise, you're probably looking at, you know, around the 500,000 range, depending on if you're looking for a typical 3-bedroom, 2-bath with, you know, maybe 2,000 something square feet. Whereas if you're looking in, you know, more luxury or high-end areas, you're gonna see those prices reflect that as well. Or if you're looking for somewhere a little more cost-friendly, more budget-friendly, then you're gonna be seeing houses that may be in 300, 400K. But overall, the entire state of Idaho has a median price point of the 400,000. So you're not gonna have to be stressing over if you can find a home at an affordable rate. It's not COVID, unfortunately. You're not gonna see COVID numbers anymore, but it is the most affordable area to live as far as just overall. So when you're comparing it, Idaho versus Oregon, while Oregon has had tons of growth, especially with it having a big city and just as much as it had growth-wise in the economic side of things, Idaho is actually catching up to it, but it's still maintaining one thing that Oregon did not, which is going to be its affordability. Idaho is going to stay there, and I simply believe that is why so many people are relocating from California, so many people are relocating from Oregon, so many people are relocating from Washington. It's because Idaho has everything and more, and it feels like you're almost coming to a job opportunity here in the state of Idaho with the same level pay, but with the ability to have so much more freedom to do the things that you really want to do, which is ultimately the most important thing, to be able to enjoy your quality of life and to live the lifestyle you want to live. Once again, I do want to reiterate, I am a licensed real estate agent here in the state of Idaho, and I would absolutely love to help you guys with your home buying needs. Or if you just need to hop on a call to come up with a quick game plan, let's do it. Once again, my phone number and email is on the screen. Shoot me a call, shoot me a text, or shoot me an email, whatever you guys prefer. And make sure that you guys press the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell above, so you guys can stay in contact and get notified when I drop more videos like this. So to conclude the video, as far as Idaho versus Oregon, you're going to have Idaho being a much better and stronger economy, as it is now growing and it is sustaining, which is one thing that Oregon is starting to slightly fall off. And you also have a better quality of life in Idaho, from all the recreational activities to the lower cost of living. Just in general, Idaho is just the place you want to be, especially if you're looking for a new beginning. And then once you get here, you can make sure to reach out and give me a big thank you, because I hope you guys make the decision to move here, and I'm looking forward to meeting you all. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and log off. Thank you guys for viewing, and if you didn't subscribe, once again, please do, and turn on the bell so you get notified for more videos just like this. Love you guys. See you on the next one.